So in this video we're going to talk about Impacket, which is a collection of Python classes and scripts for working with network protocols. Now, a couple different ways to install this. It is possible to do, I'm just going to sudo su. Okay, so it is possible to apt So you can just install the Impacket scripts right here. However, that doesn't install everything in Impacket. It only installs the most commonly used scripts, and there are more. So a couple different ways you can use Impacket. You can use the included example scripts, which are going to cover most of your use cases. If you're a little bit more advanced at pen testing, you might want to write your own scripts and use Impacket as a library or module for your script. Something that you should keep in mind is that it says that you can install using Python 2 or 3. However, I've had some problems with Python 2 in some case. I'm sorry, Python 3 in some cases. And when I look through the issues for my error, I found that somebody said that it was broken in Python 3. So let's use Python 2, but that brings up another problem. Pip for Python 2 is not installed by default, and we're going to need it. So normally you would do apt install Python pip, or for Python 3, Python 3-pip. But Kali no longer has Python pip in the repositories. So you're going to have to install it manually. And if you search for install pip, one of the first results is this page. It's as simple as running these two commands. And of course, you have to run them as root. Once you've done that, let's clone or download. Copy. Install this under opt, so git clone let's go into the directory and let's do pip install requirements.txt. And then Python setup.py install. Now let's go into the examples folders. And make sure my other lab machines for Active Directory are running. Yep, appears to be running. Okay. So let's look at wmiexec. So basically what wmiexec, as it says here, executes a semi-interactive shell using Windows management instrumentation. Now we also have smbexec in here. And the difference between the two. wmiexec obviously executes a shell over wmi, whereas smbexec over smb, but there's more to it than that. So wmiexec will give you a shell as the user whose credentials you are using, while smbexec will give you an interactive shell as system. So you don't have to escalate the system at that point, but obviously you would need user credentials for an account who has local administrator for that to work. Another difference: wmiexec will not drop files to disk on the system, whereas smbexec, that will drop a file on the system and it will also start a service. So from a pen tester's point of view, starting a service and dropping files on the system is very noisy and will probably get you caught. And even if getting caught is not an issue, somebody could respond to an alert and lock you out, remove your access. So obviously it's better to use wmiexec. So let's give that a try. Let's see, positional arguments, target. Let's see, user at, oh, I think it's 38.1110, we'll find out. Let me check that IP address again. Oop, I was wrong, 102. Okay, access is denied, so that account doesn't have local administrator on there. So let's try another account. Oops, I misspelled it. So we're gonna if I can spell it right. Okay, so now we have a shell on that system. Now, some of the available commands, local change directory. Say, for example, if we wanted to upload something from a particular folder on our local system to the system we have a shell on, we would want to do LCD and then change that directory so that we could then do put and the path to the file or the name of the file and upload a file. Or if we wanted to download a a file. Let's see what's in temp. Okay, so we've got some files in here. And if we want to download this, we could do, well, LCD. Okay, and now get okay. So now to run a local command, bang ls stack l. Okay, there's our file. So that's one use for this. Let's see, what else am I likely to use? If you actually run the command with -h, the help flag, it will tell you more about this program. It'll tell you what its use is for. GetNPUsers.py. Okay, this one is a good one because queries target domain for users with do not require Kerberos pre-authentication set. So what you can do for this, let's say if you're on a pen test and you have no credentials on the Active Directory domain and you're trying to establish a foothold, you basically can run this and it does not require any credentials. But if you get a hit on this and there's any domain users with do not require Kerberos pre-authentication set on their account, you can export a hash which you can use to possibly crack and get a service account password. There was actually recently, I don't remember which one it was, but there was hackthebox.eu system that actually there were multiple, I believe, that this was one way to get a foothold on them. So see, what else am I likely to use? NTLM relay.x. I will cover that on another video, but Actually, let's go ahead and cover that now. Okay, so we do have responder installed. Okay, so we're going to run responder dash I, Ethernet 1, because we have two network interface cards on the system, and one is connected to my Active Directory domain, and then dash WRG. Okay, so let's hop over to the Windows system. And the way that LLM&R, which is linked local multicast name resolution, and MBTNS work is if a system tries to do a DNS lookup, but then it can't find that system, it will default over to not only the local host file, but also an LLM&R and MBTNS broadcast. So let's make up a name here that doesn't exist. And now you see we have a hash. So we can attempt to crack this hash, but we can also attempt to relay it. So let's see. I want to go on a different system. Okay, you can see this user is a member of domain administrators right down here. Okay, so the way that Impacket is going to come in is, let's see. Edit this. We're going to turn SMB off, HTTP off. Okay. And I also like to change this challenge from random to something that's known. It makes it easier to crack. 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6 7 7 8 8. Okay. Control O to save, Control X to exit. Okay, now here we're going to run NTLM relayx.py. Let's look at the options. For every connection received, this module will attempt to read that connection to specified target systems. So let's see what's required. That's T for target. And I usually like to use SMB2 support as well. And what's that IP address? 102. 192.168.102. I think that's correct. What have I done? Where'd Callie go? There it is. Okay. Okay, so we have Impacket's NTLM Relay X running. Now, let's run responder again. Oh. I think that's right. Let's put this back where it was to random. Okay, that did the trick. So let's go to our other tab. All right, everything's up and running. And okay, it's fun. Hacking is about troubleshooting and finding out why things aren't working. So did I get the right IP address? 104. Oh, this is why. Signing is required on that system. So let's try remove mic. Would have helped if I would have paid attention. Okay, we were able to connect. Access is denied. So that user must not have local administrator access. Okay, DOM user is a local admin. Actually, we don't even need to do this here. Let's sign out. Because this will be an even better way to show this. Okay. So in this system, the current user is not a local administrator, but on that other system it is. The system we're relating to. Okay. So what happened here is when it couldn't resolve that host name that I typed in Explorer for the file share, it defaulted over to LLM&R and NBTNS, and we can see that over here, LLM&R and NBTNS, you see these broadcasts. So Responder poisoned them, poisoned the requests, and NTLM Relay X, remember I had to edit that configuration file first. It relayed those credentials over to the target, and since the account that I was relaying the credentials for, or actually the hash for, was a local administrator on that system, it was able to dump SAM password hashes. We didn't specify command, that's why it ran the default and dumped local password hashes. We also could have specified a command to run, like to add a local admin user. Okay, so we stop this. Let's see, what else do I normally like to use from Impacket? secretsdump.py. Okay, so normally I would use this to dump hashes from a domain controller. Let's say you've achieved domain administrator by compromising an account, and you're ready to dump domain password hashes. Let's see. You can also use it to dump local SAM hashes though as well. Let's see, where's our domain controller? IP address is 38.102. And we're going to use win-domain. There we go. There's all the domain hashes in NTLM format we can crack. What else do we have here? SMB client, you can basically connect to Windows file shares. SMB Relay X works a lot like NTLM Relay X. smbserver.py is another one I use frequently. Basically, that's an easy way on Kali to spin up a file share so you can transfer files to and from a system that you're attacking. Let's see, there's one more. GetUserSPNs.py. So there's something in Active Directory called a service principal name, SPN. So basically, that's where you take an Active Directory user and use it for a service account. So the thing about these service accounts, these service principal names in Active Directory, is any user on the domain, any low privilege user can request a TGT, a ticket granting ticket. So if you have non-domain admin credentials, just a regular user credentials, you can run GetUserSPNs.py here, and you can get that ticket for all of the SPN accounts or service accounts on the domain. And those things are encrypted using the NTLM hash for that account, basically. So when you dump those tickets, just using regular domain credentials for any user, you can then attempt to crack those, and if the passwords are weak, you can recover a service account password, and service accounts are frequently members of the domain admins group or other privileged groups. So anyway, this is not installed by default. If it is, only the basic scripts are. Let's see. Okay. These are the basic Impacket scripts that are installed by default on Kali. However, as I've shown you, there's a whole lot more useful things in the Impacket's examples subdirectory, which is why I install them manually under opt. So that's all for this video. Hopefully you find some use from this, and hopefully I've demonstrated why installing the full version of Impacket, which doesn't come with Kali, is very useful in a penetration test.